this time of the year, you'd have the mushrooms. So it was all very exciting to up early in the morning, go out picking mushrooms. We didn't have a lot of food in those days, money was scarce, so it was a big deal to get there first to get the mushrooms. So this one's called Picking Mushrooms. Or it's just called Mushrooms, and it's about childhood, I suppose, and about poetry and the beginning of it all. Moments now, when memory opens again the wound of being severed from the land from which I grew, stirs the longing to return and to walk once more through the fields and moors that made me. Those soft summer mornings of my boyhood, and we out picking mushrooms by the bucketful in Doolin's, the Castle Park, or down in the wood, where no human hand had touched the dew before us. Fog hung low over Doherty's Hollow. A curlew cried in the prayer of pregnant dawn. Across the brightening sky, wild ducks flew among the fading stars, from Noonan's Pond to Philomena's Moor and out over the Spa, while all about the sleep-still field, clusters of moon-white mushrooms shone like constellations against the dark green grass. Precious moments when innocence exposed us to the miraculous, and the strange new promise growing in the mist-blessed corners of familiar fields. Oh, the child delight of being awake in a world still dreaming, and the first whispered verses of these poems, which rise like mushrooms now from the silence of my sleeping years. Thank you. And the second one is called simply For My Grandmother, because I was lucky to have grown up in a farmhouse with both my grandmother and my grandfather living there until I was 20 years of age. That was a blessing. It doesn't happen so much anymore. And she was a great woman. She was a lover of the old ways. So I grew up on stories, her stories about a word that is gone now and really only existed in her stories back then, and hopefully a little bit still in me words. Your love was as natural as the hawthorn that blessed us with blossoms year after year, as faithful as the blue tits who return each spring to build a nest in Noonan's Pier. On winter nights when the adults would go out, your stories opened doors to hidden worlds. Our minds were swallows flying south along the ancient songline of your words. With you, we could always be children, creeping through hedges into fields full of rhyme. We were safe there in your gentle wisdom as we wandered the old folkways of your mind, where your memory and our fantasy merged on the same magical frequency. You knew why flash lamps failed in fairy rings. Once you brought a calf back from the dead. When you spoke to the world behind all things, they seemed to answer every prayer you said. From signs left behind by things unseen, you deciphered all we needed to know. The Clamanta dogs are barking, Pauline, meant an east wind was bringing frost or snow. Running barefoot through the dew-wet dawn, we picked mushrooms in the cobweb grass. On Easter Sunday morning after early mass, you blessed the crops as Christ was being reborn. And as we drank 3 sups of holy water apiece, the sun danced 3 times in the east. Thank you very much.